Hey, it's Michael. I want to get into a little bit of a serious video about celebrities and people who deal with mental illness. I'm no doctor, I've just looked at their stories on the news and their interviews when they're ready to talk about it. I'm not comfortable about dealing with what I've dealt with yet in my situation with my health, which is all right now with me seeing a doctor normally. Celebrities such as like Amanda Bynes, and I'm not insulting them, making fun of them in any way. People like her, they just deal with money and having fame. She was under guardianship for 9 years, and it says it online. Her family wanted control of her money, similar to other people with how big she is. It took 9 years for her to get the guardianship removed, and she messed up by going back to a facility, and it's really not any of her fault with TMZ and the paparazzi with where she lives at, like stopping her on the street, taking pictures. There's other people like Charlie Sheen. Like I said, I've never met these people, obviously. I've just looked at their stories. He suffers something. It could be just with him having the money and fame as well, and people wanting control of it probably, and them wanting him to go somewhere to get help when he probably refuses, but I don't know. I haven't looked at all the stories. I liked Kanye West at a time. I loved his Dark Fantasy album. They are trying to get him to be taken somewhere probably when it's not fair to him just because of how big he is as a celebrity. And I've looked at his story as well. He gets stopped by the paparazzi, and it's just because of how much of a celebrity he is. And I'll stop mentioning things like that, the high profile celebrities, but it's not fair when they're minding their own business on the street and get stopped by news reporters when they're trying to get on with their lives. And nobody can force you to go to a facility. And like I said, those places trick you. Half the time they don't even listen to you, meaning the doctors at the facility, and trick you into sending you back to people you don't want to be around. I don't know what Kanye West suffers, really. It's not looking too good for him. It's all right for them to take time away from social media and not speak to people like I'm doing with myself. And there's other people like Selena Gomez. I'm not making fun of any of them in any way, but she suffers something. It's online, and you don't have to worry about what I'm dealing with right now, because I'm getting my health back on track and trying to be a better person. It's just, I relate to these people's stories, but they seem kind of off, meaning people, like I mentioned earlier, I don't know how they're doing right now, meaning people like Selena Gomez, Amanda Bynes. I just looked at Charlie Sheen's interviews yesterday, and it's not looking too good for him. People have the right to talk about their situation to news reporters, and they don't have to answer every question when they are not comfortable doing it. The former NBA player Delonte West, I felt a little bad for him, not saying I know him or anything, but seeing his story when he was panhandling and looked not good at all. And I'm not insulting him in any way. And I looked that Mark Cuban picked him up where he was panhandling at. He went to get help. I don't know like where that former player is living now or anything. I've just watched some podcasts, and I'm just not ready to talk about my situation yet, and I'd really like to be left alone about it, and I don't need people telling me where to go and things like that when I'm sure most of you don't see doctors regularly. And stop wondering about my life, and it's disrespectful, and that took even a lot of work to even mention what my dad was like as an alcoholic, and I'm not mentioning it anymore. And I just research these people's stories. Like I said, there's the internet. They talk about it when they are ready, and I don't really know why they would bring up their situations that may be difficult to talk about, such as people like Charlie Sheen, Selena Gomez, and they do it to help people get through what they deal with their lives and help with being considered a celebrity. And people like that are ones us can look up to. And I was staying up at night just because I worked jobs where I would get off late, such as security. I worked overnight. It was not that great, and the hours were not good. I don't want to say where else I worked because I regret working there, and it caused me to burn out a little bit, but I'm getting back in shape and trying to with exercising, getting enough sleep, and I don't have time to be on a phone, text and make calls and have people wondering if I'm all right when I don't want to be bothered right now at all. And I know an officer, like I said, I was staying up at night to be able to get a hold of him when the time is needed so he could help me. And I'm not saying his name, and I know his people lie about who he is with me knowing him for this long, and you don't have permission to contact that officer, and you better let him do what he needs to, and he needs sleep himself with what he does for a living. And if you want to find out who I am, go ahead, and I don't need you all concerned, especially when I don't know you, being strangers on the internet. And I'm doing this to try to better my situation and It's none of your business with what I deal with, where I go, and what I do. So I'm signing off. Take care.